I was really angry with the father of my child, extremely angry, because I was in shock and I was disappointed. And then I went into anger. And I remember one of the last conversations I had with him was really not good, and I was really angry and I lashed out at him. So guys, this one could be a bit sensitive depending on who you're asking. And even for me, it's a bit of a trigger. Okay? So disclaimer, I'm not trying to trigger anybody, and I'm not trying to take for granted the experiences that you may have gone through that may be holding you back as an adult. Yeah. So I want to talk about trauma. And the reason why I'm talking about trauma is because I watched a clip by Sadguru. I don't know if you guys follow him. Very interesting guy. And he was talking about the fact that, which kind of triggered me a bit, but later on I thought about it, I was like, wow. And he was talking about, someone asked him about trauma and why it holds people back. And his response was, and I'm paraphrasing, he doesn't understand why trauma should hold you back, because it's either you choose to be wise or you choose to be wounded. Now I'll tell you why that statement triggered me. Was because he used the word choose, meaning you either choose to be wise or to be wounded. But here's the thing, guys. I can tell you there's some things in my life, just the way life is, that I've gone through. I didn't choose to happen to me, right? Some I chose and they happened and they were, my choice. So I can deal with that. But the things that happened in my life that maybe I was not even present, or I was not involved in the decision making, and I happened to be collateral damage, and they happened when I was very young, and I've had to, over the years, deal, therapize myself. It's good to go for therapy, but yeah. And they've been traumatic. Some of them have been extremely, extremely traumatic. So when I hear that, sometimes you have to choose whether to be wise or to be wounded, I understand that. It makes a lot of sense in theory, and it's the truth, but it's a very hard and bitter pill to swallow. The truth is not easy. And so just before I extended my trigger mode, I decided, okay, fine, let me try and understand what he's saying. There's something that I do regularly when I am at a crossroad, or when when life has dealt me a really severe blow, a really hard blow, and I'm really down and out completely. There's something that I usually do, and I recommend it. And I've recommended it to one of my friends, and they're like, yeah, it sounds cool. I take 90 days. Give you a perfect example. When I fell pregnant with my daughter, and this is me being vulnerable, honest, I didn't anticipate that I was going to be raising her on my own. It was not in the cards at all. People always say single moms are, or moms who choose to raise their children on their own are reckless. I've had that before, or we are just difficult. But no, I didn't choose to raise my daughter on my own. It just so happened that that's what happened. I was really angry with the father of my child, extremely angry, because I was in shock and I was disappointed. And then I went into anger. And I remember one of the last conversations I had with him was really not good, and I was really angry and I lashed out at him. Anyway, fast forward. But what I told myself is, I'm going to cry and I'm going to moan for 90 days. I don't know why I chose 90 days. It was just I'm going to cry for 3 months. 3 months. I'm going to cry, and when I'm done crying, it's a wrap. It's finished. We are, and it was just like an experiment. Because I was like, I knew I had to get over the whole anger phase so that I could be in a sober mind to take care of my child. So week 1, week 2, month 1 ended. I was still angry. But let me tell you, before month 2 ended, I was fine. In fact, I remember in month 3, I was really trying to cry, to be angry at the fact that I'm going to raise this child on my own. I was like, okay, so this thing actually works. And the reason why I did that was because I knew that as long as I remain in my wounded phase, I can't function optimally. I can't raise a healthy child. And I didn't want to be one of those people who is constantly talking about their past in the present. And guys, I also have to say that as a result of that, fast forward to today, I actually have a very healthy relationship with the father of my child. I don't even remember the pain of the past. And when I say healthy, I mean healthy. There's no healthy relationship whereby I'm extremely happy that he is present in my daughter's life and that she will not miss out on having an active dad in her life. And the upside is she's healthy, she's mentally okay, and that brings me joy. Now, had I chosen to stick in my trauma because I'll be honest, that experience was very traumatic then. Had I chosen to stay there, wounded, for 9 years, I don't know, would this podcast be a thing? Would I have the courage to have this honest conversation and be open and vulnerable with all of you? I don't think so. I'd probably still be harping about the way, all men are like this, all men are like that. But that's not the truth. Sometimes life deals you a bad hand. Sometimes you make bad decisions and you know you're making bad decisions and you have to own up. Sometimes, I need to say this for the people who are really going through a hard time, sometimes it's hard. It's extremely hard to move on. Some things are just almost unforgivable. Sometimes those things are even things to do with God or your faith. I'll give you an example. I know somebody who has gone through or has been through miscarriages, and many times, not once, not twice, not thrice, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, not 7 times, not 8. And this is a true story. And even when I think about that, in my heart, I'm like, oh, God, this is one of the nicest people I know. What's going on? You know? And I don't even know what I would say to somebody who's going through that. I usually have no idea what that feels like. And it would be insensitive for me to even say you need to be wise or wounded to someone like that. But reality is, life happens. And you still have a choice. So for anyone who's dealing with trauma, I empathize 100%. And I really pray that you get to the point where, as the Sadguru says, you can choose. You can have the courage and the strength to choose how your tomorrow begins and ends. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and see you next time.